episode, what did I say, 48 and a half?
48 and a half. Crazy Cabin Fever cocktails.
So, yeah, we're going to test out a new mic since yesterday's thing went so poorly and Facebook decided that it didn't want to even upload the re-recorded video.
Not on us, that was on Facebook.
So, I don't know if you can hear me because the mic is on him, but this is part of the test.
Hi.
We'll check the volume later.
It's not intended to be shared by two people, but we'll check it just because. So, do you want to make your cocktail first?
Yeah. So scrounging around for something new, something interesting, randomly grab stuff that we have, which was the intent of this show back a long, long time ago. And I had some ginger, and I want to play with it. So this was left over. This is the Ginger People ginger juice, and normally you would shake the hell out of this because you can see there's a lot of sediment on the bottom. But I wanted a clear highball. And I didn't want to have to filter this later, and I didn't want to have to clarify it. So I'm just going to use it as it is. And I'm not going to measure this because I don't really want to measure this. So then I wanted, we had a bunch of grapefruits left over from something that we were working on. And so I was like, you know what, that actually sounds pretty good. Ginger and grapefruit. And then obviously rye. I was debating a rye whiskey. And then I was like, no, high rye bourbon sounds really, really good. So I went with a New Riff, and I am not measuring anything. Because this one probably doesn't need to be measured very much. Now, I don't want grapefruit juice for the same reason I don't want the solids at the bottom of the ginger juice that's there. I just want the oils. And I don't want it over the top. I want this fully integrated into my drink. So I'm going to get a lot of peels of this grapefruit. Now, this is a little bit dry, which is why I'm using a bunch of peels, because that's going to give me a lot more complex flavor. And I'm going to put those down into the ice that I have here. And then I'm going to stir all that. And that's going to express the oils properly out into the drink. And I didn't go too deep into the pith there, the white, because I don't want that. So this stuff is really strong. I'm looking for like 1/4 ounce. Not very much. Like that. It's probably enough. Like, I'm looking for like ginger ale strength. And then let's go with 2 ounces, maybe 3, maybe 2, we'll see, of my New Riff bourbon.
You didn't get yourself a jigger, did you?
Nope, I didn't get myself a jigger. Harkening back to the day when we did this show this way. Now I'm going to make sure to press my grapefruit peel down at the bottom. And now I'm going to stir. And this shouldn't need too much time to integrate. Mostly I'm looking for to get that oils out of the grapefruit. I'm even going to press this a little bit to make sure that I really express those and get that all worked in together. Oh, that's probably good.
It smells really good, actually.
It smells really good.
Citrus.
If I had been using the solids and stuff, I probably would have shaken it. But I wanted something clear. And I've already got ice in my highball glass. So now, one of the things I like to do is I like to put the sparkling in first, which means you kind of have to guess correctly where your volume level is going to be instead of topping it at the end. But the reason that I do that is the just sparkling water is lighter than this, which has a little bit of sugars and oils and various things in it. So that's going to go down into the sparkling rather than having the sparkling sit on top. If you're up close, you can actually see it all swirl down into, see it is separating. You're seeing a little layering, but it's easier for me to get this to integrate like this than it is to just top it with the seltzer. And then you don't have a weird like float on top that doesn't have any flavor character at all. And I could do a garnish or something, maybe something to explore that those two flavoring components, the ginger and the grapefruit, probably some sort of interesting like ginger slice and grapefruit peel. I don't know. Didn't think that far ahead.
There's something over here. Sorry.
That's good. If you want to make this at home, add a sweetener. I didn't want to add any sweetener. I wanted mine dry. Oh, that's good. If you want more like ginger ale, sorry, cut you off there.
You want probably 1/2 ounce to 1 ounce of simple syrup.
Yeah, totally.
Probably most people.
Yeah,
Most people
and I would even
sugar.
up the ginger just a hair.
Okay.
But that's just me.
Is that just because you didn't shake the ginger and you are missing a little bit of the?
Yes.
You want like a lot of kick, don't you?
I want a lot of kick. And yes, I am missing the ginger solids. So I'm going to doctor it just a little bit. Just like that.
So what we didn't start out with was, this is totally impromptu. This is totally the wrong night. But because of things going wrong yesterday, I wanted to do just a quick check on some stuff. So
that's tasty.
We have the studio set up. And we needed cocktails anyway. So we're making our cocktails for ourselves.
Yes, we are.
Anyway, so I wanted something chocolatey. And normally you can make, what am I making again?
Chocolate Manhattan. Chocolate Perfect Manhattan.
Normally you would use, for not a chocolate Manhattan, you would use Angostura, right? Or is it Peychaud's?
No, that one that uses Angostura. Peychaud's is used for the Sazerac.
So normally you would use the Angostura. We're not going to use that tonight. We have two very lovely chocolate bitters here. We have the Cocktail Experiment, and we have Scrappies. Both of these, one of the things I want to point out with these is that usually you use 2 dashes of your bitters in most cocktails for the most part?
Almost, I mean, that's your default, almost always 2 dashes.
So almost always 2 dashes. With the chocolate ones, I found that they are a little bit lighter on the flavor, so I like to go a little heavier. This one, I would probably double. Use your judgment though. You might want to start out with the 2 and go up. But the Scrappies, I would probably actually do double. And the Chocolate Experiment is also a lovely flavor, but I like to go even more on that one because it's just kind of a little bit too light to get that chocolate. And some of this may depend a little bit on your bourbon. There was a bourbon we had the other night that the bourbon itself had so much chocolate character. I asked him, I said, did you put the chocolate bitters in instead? And he said no, and it was just the bourbon. So
weird.
We're going to start out. We have ice in a Japanese mixing glass, and I hope everybody can hear me because the phone mic is on 10. You're just going to turn and stand awkwardly. Awesome.
Yeah, all right.
So I'm going to do about 4 dashes of the Scrappies, chocolate bitters. Ooh, this lid is
not the best. Yep.
So 4 dashes of that. We're going to do it perfect style, which does not mean that the drink itself is perfect. It means that it is half sweet vermouth and half dry vermouth. Actually, it's perfect just about sweet and dry versus vermouth.
Yeah, perfect is just half the sugar.
Okay, so in this case, I'm going for half the sugar on the vermouth. So I'm going to do half an ounce. I think I'm doing an ounce. Half an ounce. It's been a long week, y'all, so, and I don't actually, yeah. This is, I make myself drinks. I don't really talk about drinks as much as other people do. So half an ounce of the sweet vermouth. We like the, I can't talk and do this at the same time.
No. Plus, she production managed for a dozen virtual bourbon tastings this week. And this is a light week.
So we like the Antica formula on the sweet vermouth. It's a very lovely vermouth. And I honestly really enjoy the Dolan dry vermouth. So that's how you get the perfect aspect of this. And Tim just did New Riff. I'm doing New Riff, but apparently I have a second bottle for some reason.
Totally, because I was afraid I was going to just pour it all into my cocktail.
Okay.
So there's very little left. New Riff is hugely popular in our virtual bourbon tastings. So that's why we have multiple bottles of it, and why they're all very low. And also New Riff is hugely popular for us drinking, which is also why these are very low.
So I just did 2 ounces of the New Riff, and I'm going to stir this. And as Tim always talks about, the fact that vermouth, you need to stir for quite some time in order to get it to integrate with your cocktail. So I'm going to stand here and stir and kind of watch it chill. And do we actually have any signs or anything as to how, we know for sure that it's actually integrated, other than the fact that we just go for a very long time?
If you've done it enough, the aroma changes. You can actually tell, you can actually smell when it integrates. So I've been making Manhattans long enough, and this is actually the first drink that I really understood how to make correctly. I've been doing this long enough that I know the point where it integrates, because the aroma is integrated as well. Even just standing up bar distance or counter distance, I can tell. It's a little harder in here because we have a fan going, so it's dissipating some of the concentrated vapors. But The other thing, I will really stir my Manhattans for a long time. I will stir for like 2 minutes sometimes.
So we have a
Yeah.
chill coop here, and only apparently one Hawthorne strainer in the room.
Yeah, I
So
don't know where the
just
other one
spill
is.
And you'll see.
We used to have 3 or 4. Because she has these little iridescent coops that she really likes,
I love
but
them.
they're very slightly smaller. They're really designed for
The sherbets.
dish sherbets. They're really designed for 2.5 ounces of liquid, maybe. Not what turns into very close to 4 with this thing.
It's delicious. Yeah, we're good.
Sweet. And there we go.
So I don't even know if we're gonna have recipes online for this one. This was an in-between show, and we're checking out some audio equipment. So I
Yeah.
hope you could hear me during this entire event. If not, you don't have any clue as to what I just did in the cocktail I just made, but hopefully you heard Tim. And that's part of the point of this particular episode is to test this out. I'm going to do one more test before we leave, and I'm going to walk across the room and talk for a second just to see how much that might picks up across the room. I technically could do these tests with it like not live online, but it's more fun this way, right?
Yeah, totally. And then we have our cocktails for the evening. So
Exactly.
there you go. Cheers. One more audio test coming.
And hopefully everybody can hear me. And as always, we will be back next week on Wednesday, not Thursday, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
See you then. Cheers.